Hey everybody, I'm Alan with Dad's Playing Games, and this is the 7th video in our series on soldier strategies for the game of Frostgrave. Now, in most of these videos, I've grouped the soldiers into different classes, but for this video, I'll be looking at just the War Hound, discussing its costs, stats, uses, and viability throughout a campaign. And you can find timestamps in the description below to jump to a specific part of the discussion. Starting with their costs, War Hounds are the cheapest soldier you can hire in the game, at a mere 10 gold crowns. One thing to keep in mind with these soldiers is they're animals, and as such, they cannot carry any equipment or treasure, and they're also susceptible to the Control Animal spell. These canines have a game-high move of 8 to go along with a Fight +1, Armor 10, Will +2, and 8 health. Their high will stat of +2 is thematic because while you can't always count on a hired hand, you can trust the reliability of a loyal dog by your side. For uses, the only thing really exceptional about the War Hound is their fast speed, and making use of that movement of 8 is necessary to make them a viable part of your warband. As mentioned before, War Hounds aren't able to carry treasure, and if they could, they would outclass a thief as they're faster and don't deal the -1 damage for carrying a dagger. The way I prefer to use my War Hounds is as more of a distraction than a threat. Being able to move 12 inches on a double move means they can easily get to an existing melee to add support, defend your spellcaster that's about to get charged by an enemy soldier, slow down a retreating treasure carrier until more help arrives, or my favorite use, to quickly engage a spellcaster and then actually never attack. I just leave them standing there engaged with the spellcaster so that they can't cast any spells and instead have to waste their action attacking at my War Hound. Now, I do realize this is kind of a suicide mission, but if the War Hound is able to essentially stun a wizard by making them waste a turn attacking them, or potentially damaging the wizard, or if all goes super well, killing the wizard, then that is 10 gold crowns well spent. Another way that I like to use the War Hounds is with the Transpose spell. This spell lets you swap the position of two soldiers that are within 10 inches of each other. So you could use the War Hound's high movement to run towards the middle of the board, then transpose its position with a slow Knight or Templar, or you can have it actually run up a tall obstacle because apparently climbing walls was part of their training. So you can then swap their position with a marksman to get your snipers into position quicker. As far as their viability over the course of a campaign, these guys obviously make a lot of sense when you're first creating your warband because they're so cheap. And if you want to hire a few of the more expensive premier soldiers that are found in the game, then you won't have a lot of leftover gold crowns to fill the other slots in your warband. And since you're allowed 8 soldiers in the game for your warband, I always recommend entering a battle with that full allotment of 8 soldiers. And I've found that starting your first battle with 2 or even 4 of these guys might be better than hiring a thug or a thief while leaving 1 or 2 holes in your warband. As the campaign progresses, unless you find yourself needing that 8 movement for one of your specific strategies that you're using, then these War Hounds will probably be replaced pretty quickly. However, between games you can establish a base and build a base, kind of add some things onto it, and one of those things you can add on is a kennel. This allows you to have an additional War Hound in your warband that doesn't count against your total warband size. With this addition to your base, it could mean a War Hound is the only guaranteed soldier type in your warband at the end of a campaign. In most of my other soldier videos, I've done a comparison to look at how these soldiers relate to other soldiers. But War Hounds are so different and so specific in their uses that I don't think there's much I could add here that hasn't already been mentioned or that wouldn't be really obvious. So really, when you're going to hire a War Hound, you do it because either you're short on gold crowns, you need max speed for a specific strategy, or they're the only soldier that wants to sleep in your kennel. So I'm interested to know your thoughts about the War Hound, if you agree with my assessment, or if there's some other ways that you like to use them. And you can just leave some comments down below. And while you're there, you can click like or subscribe so that you can keep up with all the Frostgrave content that we're releasing. And with that, I'm Alan with Dad's Playing Games, and we'll see you on the next video.